How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you that the easiest way to make men fall in love with you is by loving yourself first? What if I also told you without a real understanding of what that really means, you're probably going to do this all wrong? Which is exactly why on today's show, we're going to be discussing why men fall in love with you when you love yourself. That way, you can understand why the most important investment in your dating life will be an investment in your personal life. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. How are all you beautiful people doing here today? Sorry for those of you on YouTube who can't see the YouTube chat. You can see the TikTok one, but the YouTube chat's being a little bit finicky today. It's okay, we're going to get started. How are all of you people doing? I can see all of your chats at least. How are all you beautiful people doing today? Who we got up in the TikTok chat? We got Gabriella here, Rosemary here, Mama here, Lenalik here. Okay, we got Des here, Ruwa here, Katie is here, Omolola is here. Is that a Nigerian name? Okay, welcome all you beautiful people. And of course, we have our three moderators, Scotty, Cerise, SH here. Okay, who we got up in the TikTok chat? I see we got Tracy Niles, one of our amazing channel members. NW is here. Mary is here. Milk is here. Olga is here, Yasmin is here, Mary Kim is here, Nicole, one of our generous and amazing channel members. We got Great Fortune Cookie, one of our channel members. Jazz here, let me scroll up. Electric Feel is here, let me scroll up. Let me see who was here real early today, okay? We got Ivy here, of course Ivy is here, one of our amazing channel members, and lots more. I wanna make sure I don't miss any of our channel members and shout them out, okay? Welcome all you beautiful people up in the YouTube chat, and let's get started here. Today's Friday, we're gonna have a little bit of fun, okay? Today's about loving yourself, but I do wanna give you some practical advice and concepts to think about as it relates to loving yourself, because I want you to always, in everything that we do here, even though we do like to have fun, I want you to walk away with some piece of information that's at least a little bit new to you or can make you kind of think about life in a slightly different way. Okay, so we're going to start off with our number one point, and a very important one that I want you to kind of think about here in your life. And it's going to be something, it's going to be around an idea that you've heard before, but I want to kind of reshape it in a way that maybe you never thought about. Let me make this circle here bigger, okay? So our first point here is obviously investment, okay? Now, obviously you guys have heard the terminology investment, to invest money into something, and the whole idea when you're investing your money is you want to get something in return. So if you invest $100 into something, you're hoping to get $110 back. You're hoping to get $200, maybe even $1,000 back. Now, here's the key thing that I want you to take with you as it relates to loving yourself. I want you to kind of think about your life as an investment. So let's say, for the sake of example, you have different things you can invest in, right? Your mind, your body, your soul, we'll say. Okay, we could say even your spirit. That's a little bit more of an obvious type of investment, right? You can invest in your spirit. You can invest in other things like, let's say, your skin, right? A little bit more on the surface level. You can invest in things like your, let's say, your passions, right? So think about all of these different places that you can invest your time and energy into. And in this case, instead of like thinking about it like money, I want you to think of money as energy. So anytime I talk about investing in these different areas of your life, instead of putting money into those areas, I want you to put energy into those areas, meaning attention and focus into those areas. Because when you put energy into those areas, similar with an investment, you're going to expect a return on that investment. So how does that relate to, loving yourself and why that's so important and why that's so attractive to men? Because the more that you invest in each one of these parts of your life, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, your skin, your passions, all the different areas of you that you can invest in, you actually end up making your own value. Okay, so we can put kind of value. Where can we put value? Okay, right? So your value goes up, is up, right? The more that you invest, right? So if you invest more, your value is going to go up over the course of time. Because if you're thinking of yourself, right, your life, you as a human being, as a thing to be invested in, and instead of it being money, it's energy. And that every time you pour more and more of that energy into each one of these different parts of your life, you get something in return. And what you're returning yourself is an increase of your value, right? You're increasing your value to everyone else around you. Because as you, for example, invest heavily into your skin, now you have glass skin. Everyone that sees you, girls, guys, are like, damn, your skin is so beautiful. How do I get skin like yours? You're just so pretty to look at. Now they all of a sudden want to listen to what you have to say. As you invest in your mind, you're really intelligent. Now you know more things. People can trick you less easily. You put yourself in less precarious or dangerous situations, right? You're better able to understand people when they're talking. You're better able to teach people. You're better able to help them understand something or communicate with them. So all of these different places that you'll invest your time and your energy will actually end up paying you back. And as you invest all of that time and energy, when a man comes across you and he finally meets you, he's going to be judging how much of his own time and energy he wants to invest in you or to build a relationship with you based on how much of that energy you've been investing into yourself. I know it sounds very strange, but the funniest part is that you're the most attractive version of yourself when you're investing the most amount of time and energy into yourself. It's the same reason why the women who men overlook the most are the ones who are pouring the most energy into men. Okay? So the irony of the whole Players Club when we talk about men and we talk about what they like and what they need and what they find attractive is I actually help you understand that you become more attractive when you invest in yourself. And we help understand how guys receive that, how they perceive that, and then how they act on that, which is kind of what the whole show is about. So what I'm trying to help you understand here is that energy investment in yourself is always good because that investment always pays you back from the standpoint of being more attractive to men. Ironically, if you want to be more attractive, you invest more into yourself and you worry less about the men. And then they flock towards you. Because all of these different areas that you can invest your energy into is what guys are receiving from you when they meet you and using that to determine how much are they going to put into you. Okay? The women who are investing the least into each one of these different areas, obviously there's more than this. I just drew a few as examples. But the women who are investing the most into these different areas of their life are the women who they come across and say, wow, I want to take you out, make you my wife. I want to do whatever is necessary to have you, because those are the women who they deem to have the highest value. Okay? It's kind of a strange way and a strange kind of psychology to how that works for guys. You would think that the girls who would be the most attractive are pouring the most into other guys, but it doesn't work that way. Guys actually end up despising you, resenting you, and ignoring you when you invest all of your time and energy into them. So being attractive is investing more time into yourself, increasing your own value. Then you get to pick and choose from any one of the men that you want because you're so damn attractive to all of them, okay? Let's go on to our second point here. I know I'm going fast. Are you guys following me so far? We on the same page here? We all tuned up, okay? Let's go on to our second point, okay? Make sure I have this one right. Okay. We're going to have some fun today. We got lots to talk about today. Lots and lots to talk about. Okay. Point number 2. Okay. What do I have here? Okay. So, my drawing skills aren't very good, okay? I'm gonna have to draw some stuff today. Today's a drawing day for me, so don't mind me today. All right, let's imagine a scale here. And on this scale, we have two different weights here. One is over there and one is over here, okay? So on these two scales, we're gonna have one scale that we'll put in here, let's say this one is I can't fit it. I want to fit it. Let me make my circle bigger. I'm gonna make my circle bigger, chat. You guys know I'm not no artist, but it's okay. Okay, so let's imagine a scale like this. And I want you to kind of take this in. This is such a good visual for you to understand. Insecurity is directly correlated with attractiveness for men. When you have, so the reason I made it a scale is because if this attractiveness, right, is down here on the scale, it's because the insecurity is up, okay? So it's correlated as one goes up, another is coming down, and vice versa. If one comes down, then the other goes up. So what I want you to kind of understand through this visual is for the men, when you love yourself, you're actually showing yourself to either be secure or insecure, right? Because when you love yourself and you're confident within yourself and you believe in yourself, I know these sound very abstract, but I'm going to get deeper into them. See, the men start to appreciate that because they understand that the only way you can be that secure in yourself is if you truly have value. And I know that it sounds very strange, but the dating marketplace is all about perception. So you want to understand at all times, what is your current perception? Perception for the guys, because remember, they're in a situation where they're going to be pursuing you based off of what they think about you, based off of what they want from you, based off of what they think you're even going to give them because of the type of person that you are. So they're always gauging how they treat you based on their perception of you. So if you understand how important perception is, then you understand how important it is to present yourself as someone who is secure. Because in the opposite sense, if your insecurity goes down, which means you become more secure, then your attractiveness goes up. That's why it's kind of like a scale, right? They're directly correlated. So I want you to kind of think of it like that, because sometimes you can make the mistake of presenting yourself as insecure to men that you go out on dates with. When you go out on these dates, you might do things like trauma dump. You might do things, even if it's not trauma dumping, by presenting yourself in a way. That's why I say perception is everything. You might make the mistake of presenting yourself in a way that makes it seem like I let people take advantage of me because I just don't know what I want. I don't know where I fit in the world. I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm just so confused. I go around this world confused, and I need someone to show me what real life is. I just don't know, right? And it can start to scream insecurity that I don't know about me. I don't know if I have value, and I need someone else to tell me or show me if I have value, okay? That will start to make you very unattractive to men. I know you might think, well, Tomisin, I'm just telling these guys exactly how I actually feel. I'm telling them what's really on my heart, on my mind, and on my soul. I really don't know, how I fit into this world. I really don't know if guys really like me. I don't understand why they ignore me. I don't understand why they mistreat me or ghost me or things like that. Yeah, my last ex, he did cheat on me 35 times. So I just want to be honest about that. And that was really traumatic for me. Why can't I just be honest about my life? The problem is, your perception changes. And your perception changes to the men that you're very insecure, that you don't feel like you have a lot of worth or value to offer the world. That when you walk around, you're scared and nervous that other people might realize how much of a phony you are. That brings your attractiveness down because men start to wonder to themselves, why would I invest all of my time and energy into someone who doesn't even believe they're worth investing time and energy into? Remember, in our last point, I talked to you guys about investment and how I want you to kind of reshape your mind into thinking about everything that you do for yourself as an investment into you. and an investment into your value that when it increases, the men also become more attracted to you. So it's the same thing here, right? Because the men are seeing you and then they're trying to determine, should I invest in you? When you have all of this insecurity, they're saying, well, this person doesn't even believe they should be invested in by anyone, let alone themselves. And if that's the case, why would I be the first one to step up and start investing into her? It doesn't make any kind of sense. I want to do what everyone else is doing. And if you are so insecure that you don't believe that you're worth anything or you're deserving of any sort of good treatment, then why would I give that to you? I don't want to be the first one to give that to you, right? Does that make sense? Right? Someone says, why is their validation important to me? It shouldn't, it shouldn't be, I should say, which is exactly why we don't want you presenting yourself as insecure. And if we want to be real, we want to understand that presenting yourself, your perception as being secure, also makes you more attractive, okay? Now, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword because it helps you, and also being secure helps you be more attractive, but being secure also helps you feel better about yourself. So it's good all around. It doesn't have to be one or the other, okay? So let's hop into our point number 3, okay? That we want to kind of break down here. Now, as we get further along, we're going to kind of get really in depth here, okay? I wanted to break down these first 2 in a more basic way, and so that we can kind of really get to the nitty-gritty, okay? So, this is an idea that we haven't talked about yet that I want to share with you. Okay. So let's kind of look at this here. Now, you guys know I ain't the best drawer, so don't be expecting Picasso, okay? So we're gonna put, I won't say what this is yet, but I'm gonna put, well, you kind of know what this is. This is a mirror here, okay? So let's imagine you're in this mirror here, and today you have straight hair, okay? Nice little mirror, okay? You got Jennifer Aniston haircut, and you're over here looking like this. Then this is the real you, okay? So this is the mirror. Then you have the real you, okay? With your hair coming down here, okay? Real nice, beautiful smile and a real cute nose, all right? Then we have the man, okay? Let's say you like black men, all right? So he's got an afro. That's just the type that you're feeling today. And we make him a nice big smile. So we have the man here. Now, this is kind of something I want to break down for you, okay? That I want you to kind of see and understand why this is so important. See, when you're looking in the mirror, there's a particular image that you have of yourself. And there's a particular belief system that you have of yourself when you look in that mirror. When you look in that mirror, you're going to see what you believe to be a representation of who you are. Not just your looks externally, but you're going to project onto that image that you see in the mirror, right, how you feel about yourself internally. That image on that mirror is not just a representation of the meat suit that you're carrying, but you also see every single piece of your soul, your personality, and your character in that image on that mirror, right? So the reason I say that, and I kind of want to put this in perspective for you, because this is kind of like a triangle of perception. You are perceiving this mirror, right? And in this mirror, you're building your own belief system of what you believe this image in the mirror to represent. So whether that means, oh, this is like a supermodel. She's confident, she's sexy, she can do whatever she puts her mind towards. She has all the guys begging over her, worshiping her, crawling on glass, trying to sniff her butthole. And literally, she's one of the most baddest, powerful girls in there. You know how you see a girl on IG, you be like, oh my God, she's bad, she's beautiful, she's sexy, she's drop dead gorgeous. Yeah, imagine you're thinking that about the image that you see in the mirror. The men, and this is where the triangle comes in, the men are doing a double perception here. So they're perceiving you, and they're also perceiving what you see in the mirror, okay? they're doing both of these simultaneously, and they're using this perception to judge, well, I'm going to believe, right? So whatever she believes in, right? I'm going to, what you believe in, this right here, this connection is how he treats you, okay? And this connection right here between him and the mirror, this is how he sees you view you. So let me see where to put here in a place that makes sense. Let me change my man from here. Put the man down here. So this is man, right? And this is how you see you, okay? Right? So he's getting a sense of how you see you by perceiving how you look in that mirror, how you feel about the way you look in that mirror, the presentation of that person in that mirror. Now, I know this is kind of a little bit abstract, right? But what I'm trying to say is this is all happening simultaneously. Your belief of who this person is in the mirror will actually present in the way that you carry yourself. When men are perceiving you and deciding how they're going to treat you, they're taking a look at what's going on in this mirror, because this is your own projection of yourself on this mirror, and then they're deciding how they're going to treat you in real life based on all of this perception in the mirror. Because this isn't just an image, like I said before. This is actually kind of like a presentation of who you believe yourself to be. When you look in that mirror, it's not just an image of your meat suit. It's every character and personality trait and truth you believe about yourself on this mirror. So this is like the real you in terms of three-dimensional meat suit, and this is the projection of you in kind of like the more spiritual plane. Imagine it like that. I'm trying to simplify it for you guys. Then the men are deciding how they treat you based on all of this perception. So it's very important that you take care of this perception, this image in that mirror. Because if you look in that mirror and you don't believe this person to be worth much, right? If you look in that mirror and you start to think to yourself, oh, this girl gets cheated on, right? This girl, she gets ignored. This girl here, she gets ghosted all the time. This girl here, this is another important one. This girl here, she's too old, okay, right? Or you think things like this. This girl here, she's not sexy enough. All of these things will become exactly what this image consists of in the mirror. The men will see that and they'll say, cool, so glad you could let me know you think all of these things about that image in the mirror. I will treat you, the three-dimensional you, exactly as you perceive you in this mirror. I'm not going to change anything. This is like a triangle of perception. So I see what you see in this mirror, and I treat you exactly based on what you see in this mirror. I'm not doing anything different, anything less, or anything more. So what you want to start doing, if you want to start changing the way that men treat you, you have to change the image that you see in the mirror. Because if you don't believe in the image that you see in the mirror, there's no way that the men will start to believe that you are someone who you don't even believe yourself to be. Okay? Now, this is kind of, in a sense, a manifestation, and kind of, in a sense, the law of attraction. Because the only way you'll begin to attract people who believe that you're a goddess, believe that you are, worth being a wife, believe that they should take you out, spend money on you, not go 50-50, give you princess treatment, all the stuff that you want, is if when you look in the mirror, you actually believe that. And in the weirdest way, your own self-doubting beliefs will also be mirrored by the men who are you're seeing and you're dating. So understand, any one of these beliefs that you see when you look in the mirror will be the exact beliefs that the men have of you when they meet you. So in order to change that and kind of see something different in terms of your dating life, you have to adjust what you see in this mirror. And that might take some work. That might take some practice, right? Which is everything we talk about, all of this stuff in the Players Club. Okay, so we have many days to talk about it. That might take some practice. That might take a couple of days. That might take weeks. That might take months or years. But as this image change and these beliefs change about this image in the mirror, so will the way that the men treat you change. Okay? Because I promise you, all the girls that get treated like goddesses that you see on Instagram and you're wondering how their men will spend all their money on her, buy her roses, buy not the small rose, the big one that you gotta like hold like this, right? And you're wondering, how do they get this from those men? It's because they actually believe that to be them. And they believe that that's what they deserve. And when they look in the mirror, they actually see a woman who deserves that level of treatment, which is exactly why the men mirror that treatment and give that to them. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the reason I described that, I want you to understand how important that is to your treatment, why men will fall in love with you or not, why they'll be attracted to you or not. Does that make sense? Okay, right? Someone said it's called self-esteem. It is, in a way, called self-esteem, right? And I know some of the concepts that we talk about are simple in their idea, but that's why I like to break them down, even if they're simple, so it can kind of strike a little bit of something different in your mind, where maybe if you think about it in a different way, it'll help you kind of understand why it's so important. Because I can sit here and talk till I'm blue in the face. Self-esteem is important. But if you don't understand how it actually affects your relationships and affects the way people treat you, maybe it will be harder to grasp or easier to grasp if I explain it in a different way. Does that make sense? Let's hop into our next point, okay? And I'll be honest with you. Point number 4 here, we're going to call this stop pooping time, okay? We're going to call this stop pooping time because I deem this to be point number 4, the most important point, okay? Someone said I love detail. That's you're in the right place. We do detail around here, okay? Let's kind of break this one down. And this one's going to require some drawing for me, but we will call this stop pooping time, okay? Okay, I'm going to have to draw for this one, so please forgive me and my drawing skills, okay? Oh, boy. Chat, this is, well, this is going to be rough for all of us. Oh, wow. Oh, man. I will hope that you guys can like get what I'm trying to draw here. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be good. Okay, so like let's just get over it. Okay, yeah, we just have to ignore that. All right, and let's draw him here and get the rest here and let's put the stuff on him. Do you guys know what this is or no? You probably yeah. Maybe some of you are getting it. Maybe some not. This is so bad. It's okay. It's whatever. Does anyone know what I'm drawing here? Okay. Then we're going to have to draw. Does anyone know what this is? Okay. Guess if you can tell me what this is while I draw the other 2 things that I have to draw. These other 2 things, I'm not going to be able to draw them. This is going to be... It's tough for me when I'm not drawing inclined. You get my drift, okay? And then we'll draw another one here. It's just not gonna, I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try. I just have to get through it. We just have to get through this part, chat. It's just a must, okay? So, okay, so here is, I'll label them so it's very easy for you guys, all right? So we have a lion here, okay? Did you guys, seen some of you guys guess lion, okay? Right, what was do you guys know what this one is? Can you guys guess what this one is, if this one's a lion? Anyone know? Anyone know, right? Ooh, I seen someone say it, right? It's a gazelle. Gazelle. Right? So these are 2 gazelles. Okay, now, aside from my weak drawing, okay, I actually want to explain to you guys something serious here. Now, there's a weakness paradox that goes on with men and in relationships with men. And this all falls in line with why men fall in love with you when you love yourself. See, here's the thing, right? Think of the men like the lions, okay? So the lions are men here. right? And in this scenario, obviously lions hunt gazelles. So when lions are in hunt for gazelles, right, they're obviously going to have to expend energy in order to catch any one of these gazelles, okay? In the process of them trying to catch any one of these gazelles, they want to make sure that they do this process as efficiently as possible. There's always a kind of like an efficiency balance whenever it comes to expending energy and catching their prey. Because if they expend too much energy, then they'll kind of run out of energy and they won't be able to catch their prey. They don't want to spend so much energy that they become exhausted and they never get to catch their prey, okay? They want to make sure that they can catch a good amount of prey that will keep them full and keep them satiated without spending too much energy. Now, here's the thing. When men get into a situation where they're in a place that they want to get access to as many women as possible, they want to sleep with you and they want to take advantage of you, what they're going to be doing, unfortunately, I have to break this down to you, they're going to be determining which one, so imagine them as the lion, they're going to be determining who is the weakest out of this group here, right? So let's say one of these gazelles is a really weak gazelle. Right? So this is the weak one, right? And then we have another one who's a really strong gazelle, right? Meaning the strong gazelle, so we'll put this one, right? We'll even put the S here, right? And we'll put the W here for this one, the weak one. So the really strong gazelle here is going to be really fast, really agile. Oh, you got to be quicker than that, okay? Right? And this one is going to be hard to catch, meaning the lion is going to have to expend a lot of energy in order to catch this gazelle. You're not a gazelle, but you get my drift. In this scenario, the weaker gazelle is going to be easier to catch because if the lion is thinking about how to get the most amount of meal, expending the least amount of energy, then he's going to look for the weaker gazelle, which is slower, less nimble, right? Less agile, right? And all of these things will make the prey a lot easier to catch and consume than chasing around the strong gazelle, okay? And the reason I call this a weakness paradox is because when men are not looking for a wife, not looking for a long-term serious partner, they subsequently end up looking for, in the women that they meet, they end up looking for women who have the qualities that make them very weak, insecure, and easy to control. Because when they possess those qualities, it makes it easy for them to fall prey to manipulation, to fall prey to the lies, the cheating, the omission, and all the stories and things you can convince someone of who is more naive and gullible. So they end up looking for the weakest women because those are like the prey if you're in a state where you want to take advantage of as many women as you possibly can. When I say take advantage, I mean sleeping with as many women as you possibly can. Now, when they get into the mind frame that, no, now I want to settle down and I actually want to build a family and I want to look for a woman who has all the qualities of a wife and a long-term partner, they actually stop looking for the weak women, right? In this case, it would be the lion hunting for the weak gazelle, and they start looking for the gazelle who have strength, right? They start looking for the women who have strength, who can say no, right? Who can set boundaries, who have respect for themselves, right? Who know what they want, who can't be manipulated, right? Aren't naive. The reason they look for the women who are strong and capable and intelligent and love themselves is because when they're looking for a wife, they want someone who respects herself, because by the time she respected herself since before he met her, she'll have more attractive qualities to her for a wife and someone that he wants to make the mother of his children. He doesn't want his wife to have little to no self-respect, right? Because now that he's looking for someone to build a family with, now all of a sudden he's looking for someone who represents him well. This is why I call it a weakness paradox, because you can end up getting a lot of attention from men in this state where you're the weakest. And you might think to yourself, well, that's probably because the men love the weak women. No. They love weak women when they want to take advantage of women. Now, when they actually want to build with a woman, ironically, they look away from the weak women because the weak women find it hard to say no. They don't know how to set boundaries, but what does that mean? Other men have also taken advantage of those women. So ironically, it becomes this really weird situation where when you say yes to men, when you don't love yourself and you allow these men to walk all over you, trample you, catch you as prey, however you want to describe it, they end up only discarding of you when it's time for them to want to build a family. And you think to yourself, well, I spent all of this energy on him, loving him, doing for him, saying yes to everything he ever asked me to do, setting no boundaries. And yeah, he showed me attention for a little bit, but all of a sudden when he wanted to get a girlfriend, he went somewhere else. Tell me in the chat, okay, and this is where I want you to be honest with me. Have you ever been in a situation where a guy found it difficult to commit to you and you were wondering why? And then a couple months or weeks down the line, he ends up popping out randomly with a new girlfriend or a new girl. And all of a sudden, he doesn't find it very difficult to commit to that girl. And you're thinking to yourself, but I did everything I possibly could to get you to commit to me. I did everything you wanted. I did everything you asked for. Why did you not look at me when you were ready to wife someone? Okay? Okay. Someone says, I see a couple people saying yes. Color Me Pink says, yes, engaged. Wow. She said, he got engaged and the fiance called me. I didn't even know. That's crazy. Okay. Right. Someone said, but he's still trying to sleep with me. It'd be crazy out here. Right. And the reason that happens is because of the weakness paradox. See, guys want you to be weak when they're trying to take advantage of you. But when they're actually looking to build a family with you, they're not looking for the girls who are weak. But unfortunately, you only end up realizing that men aren't looking for girls who are weak until after he goes out and he picks a different girl who's more like this, right? And it can be quite confusing because when you spend all this time invested in him, saying yes to him, not loving yourself subsequently, you end up thinking that you're going to get that same treatment from him, but you never do, okay? Because it never works like that. Men want to build a family with women who set boundaries, who say no, who love themselves, who have self-respect, who are secure. Those are the most attractive women to wife, okay? That's just the reality of life. The most unattractive women to wife are the women who say yes to everything subsequently. So, if we understand that, then we understand the most attractive version of you is the version that says no and sets boundaries, isn't a yes girl, right? And isn't a weak person, right? Allowing men to trample you, run all over you, and do whatever they want with you, okay? Let's hop into point number 5, okay? I hope that one makes sense. Point number 5 here, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, be honest with me, how was the drawing, okay? I tried my best. You guys know I'm not no artist. It looks like he has a beard. It's okay. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. Scale of 1 to 10, how was the drawing? I'm not no artist, okay? I teach you about men. I don't do art, okay? One day I'll get someone to do the art for me, and we'll be good. We'll have visuals and we'll have me yapping, okay? Someone said 0. Wow, I'm very sad. Very sad. 0, -4. Okay. Wow, you guys are mean. We're number 5 here, okay? What we want to do in number 5, in terms of understanding why loving yourself is so important. We want to get a guy who works for you. So I'm going to give you kind of 2 scenarios here, okay? So let's imagine there's a little bit of a painting here. So you're like Van Gogh, right? Like you paint, you're an abstract painter, right? And there's a second painting down here, okay? Once again, it's an abstract painting, a little bit different, kind of the same, but just a little bit different, okay? So you have 2 paintings here. And let's imagine that you are like Vincent van Gogh, you're in this warehouse painting, and there's a whole bunch of paintings in this warehouse. And let's say in this example, there's 2 paintings in particular. Let's say the manager of this warehouse, he comes in one day and he says, look, I get it. You're a painter. You love to paint. You love to draw, all that good stuff. All your pastel colors and canvases is great. But we're running out of room here. We need to clear some stuff out because I'm making room for a new thing I want to build here. So we're going to have to get rid of some of your paintings, okay? Now, let's imagine you're going through all of your paintings in this warehouse and you're deciding which one of these paintings you're going to get rid of. And let's say you spend 10 minutes on this first painting. And let's say this second painting you spent 10 months on, okay? Now, chat, tell me, if you had a choice that you had to get rid of one of these paintings, which painting would you decide to get rid of? Would you get rid of your Vincent van Gogh painting, which you spent 10 minutes on? Or would you get rid of your Vincent van Gogh painting, which you spent 10 months on? I want everyone to participate in the chat, okay? Very important. I want to see what your answer is because I want to make sure that you're paying attention, all right? Want to make sure everyone's paying attention. Which one would you go with? The one for 10 minutes or the one for 10 months, okay? Someone said, where are we going with this? We're going somewhere very special, okay? So obviously, I see a lot of you people saying 10 minutes. I will get rid of my painting that I spent 10 minutes on instead of my painting that I spent 10 months on. Not an unnatural reaction. Now, let me help you understand how this ties into men, your relationship with them, and loving yourself. When you love yourself, you believe that you deserve more. When you believe that you deserve more, you're less inclined to take less from men. Subsequently, that means when men approach you because they want you, want to build with you, want to make you their wife, want to get to know you, you expect more from them because you believe that you deserve more. Now, when you expect more from men, they have to work more for you. And this ties back into our first point, which was about investment. And in this scenario, what I want you to kind of see is how investment, even as it relates to time and energy, will drastically change your connection or feeling of attachment towards something. You're much less likely to let something go if you feel like you spent more time and energy on that thing. So let's kind of look at it in the example that we gave here. In the painting that you only took 10 minutes to do, right, doesn't necessarily mean that this painting is bad, right? This could be a 10 out of 10 painting. This could be one of your best paintings ever, right? And people might come at this and say, I would pay you $1 million for this painting that you did in 10 minutes. But the thing about it is, what your attachment is to each one of these paintings is not really even the quality of the painting. Your attachment to each one of these paintings is the amount of time and energy you invested in the painting, which is exactly why majority of you said, I would give away the painting I only spent 10 minutes on, because my attachment to that painting is way less than the one I spent 10 months working on. So the reason I say that is when you love yourself, you subsequently ask and expect more from men, and you force them to work more for you, which actually makes you more enticing and attractive to them, because when they work more for you, they invest more into you. And like we talked about in this example, their investment into you will make them more attached to you and less willing to allow you to walk out of their life. Which is exactly why I always tell you guys in the Players Club, the number one thing you're trying to do when you date men is figure out how you can get them more emotionally invested in you in this relationship without you having to overextend yourself in the relationship and end up being the one investing all of your time and energy here that you're starting to get nervous. Maybe you might walk away. Maybe he might not like me. Because what's been happening a lot in your relationships that haven't worked out, or the men that ghost you, you overinvest, overextend yourself, while he pulls back, does his own thing. And then as he's pulling back, you start to become nervous that, oh my God, I feel like you're not into me anymore. And you start trying to save it, and you go down this vicious like death spiral of trying to save it and just making it worse. So what we want you to start doing is getting those men to invest into you emotionally, right? As for some people, they say financially, but I say emotionally, so that they start to become attached to the fact that they spent so much of their time and energy on you, which is exactly why when you love yourself, and that's why it's so important, and you build yourself up, you build that belief system that you have of yourself when you look in that mirror and you say, no, I am that girl, then the guys believe it because they see it and they see what your perception of you is and how you carry yourself. And then you expect more from them because you know you deserve more. And because of that investment they're putting into you, they become more attracted and attached to you and less willing to allow you to walk out of their life. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, do you guys have any questions about the 5 that we just discussed here today and why they're so important? Someone said, is this pre-recorded? No, I live, okay? I'm very live, very in the flesh, very real here. This is happening in real time, okay? Why would I do this pre-recorded? Doesn't make sense. But I'm here. It's really me, all right? Do you guys have any questions about the 5 that we just discussed? Why they would be so important, okay? Nor asks a great question. She says, but how do you tell him without directly telling him that you don't, all right? Because it doesn't work if you tell him, right? It works when you show him based on what you expect and how you carry yourself. Let me ask you a question, and this will help you understand why you don't have to say it, okay? Do you think if you went to a party, a birthday party, and you just were scouting the room, do you think if I told you to look at how someone walked around a party and carried themselves and talked to people, if I asked you, do you think that person is confident or insecure? Do you think you could answer that question for me simply by watching someone just maneuver around a party and talk to people or not talk to people? Would you be able to determine if they were confident or insecure based on just observing them around a party, right? I want you actually to answer that question for me because I want to know and I want to kind of show you something here, right? The reason I see a lot of you saying yes, the reason I asked that question is because if you can determine that someone is confident or insecure simply by not even knowing them, not even meeting them, not even speaking to them, and you can determine that that person is confident or insecure just by observing them, then that tells you when it comes to guys and your relationship with them, you don't have to say anything, right? It's the actions that you take and the way that you carry yourself that will, and the energy that you give off that will allow them to determine, oh, you're a confident person that loves yourself versus not being a confident person, right? That you don't love yourself, right? And they'll be able to determine that simply by observing you and how you approach life. Does that make sense? Right? So it's not something that you have to, oh, I want you to know that I love myself. I want you to know that I'm very confident. I want you to know that I'm not insecure. It doesn't work like that, okay? In fact, if you do that, it'll actually be very obvious that you're trying to overcompensate there. So we don't want that. We don't want that for you. Right? I hope that makes sense. By the way, for those of you who have a question for me, and I don't answer it on the show, because I know some of you guys have your own unique situation, situationship, relationship, and things that go on. For those of you who have a question for me that's very specific about something you've been through, please go into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, and you can submit to me a private relationship question. It's there in the link. Just click where it says private relationship advice, and you can send me in your question. You can type it out as much as you want to type, and then I respond to you with a voice message, and I send it to the email that you submit your question with, okay? So please, for those of you who have like a really specific situation, even one that's unrelated to what we just discussed today, you can go ahead, go in the link in my bio on TikTok or link in my description, click the private relationship advice, and you can ask me a private question. I have so many private questions to get to this weekend, probably like over 25. It's crazy. Like, you guys been definitely using that one. So glad. I'm going to be spending all day answering questions. All right. So, but make sure you go into that. By the way, for those of you who came late and you missed the points that I talked about, just go up onto my YouTube channel. It's just my name on the top right corner of the screen there, Tomisin Atobatele. You just type in my first name, even Tomisin. Go in on YouTube, and then you'll see me live there at the same time, and you can just rewind the live and watch all of the points as I said them live and direct, okay? For those of you who came late, okay? Talia says, what are we classifying as weak women from the last point? Weak women would be classified as women who say yes to everything, okay? Women who can't set boundaries and can't say no to men, right? That's what I mean by weak. Weak in the sense of you have a problem telling men no because you want to be liked by them, or you want their validation or approval so much that you're scared that if you tell them no, they'll be disappointed and they'll go pay their attention to someone else and they'll start liking someone else, right? That fear can turn you into someone who's very weak, and you can feel like, oh, well, the guys like the weak women because, that's when they actually want to spend some time with you. No, they like weak women because that's how they can take advantage of you. But then when they actually want to build a relationship and build a family and date someone for real, then they don't look towards weak women, because weak women will allow anyone to take advantage of them, right? And they don't want that for a wife. So it's kind of like, it's a paradox, which is why I said that, right? Does that make sense? Henya says, yeah, can we be kind ever? Well, yes, of course, you don't want to be mean for like all the time to the point where it's off-putting, but there's a way to say, yeah, I'm feminine, right? But I still have boundaries, okay? And this is where the reason we talk so much about standing your ground, letting your actions speak, your energy, being able to withdraw, is because when you're angry or you're upset or you want to gently guide a man into a particular way, or you want to show him that, hey, I don't want you doing this, your yelling and your screaming is not going to keep you in your feminine. But we still want to set men straight in your life. So what we give them is unbothered energy. Anytime we want to set them straight, anytime we want to set an example, anytime we want to show them that, hey, this is not going to work for us. And aside from that, right, aside from your unbothered energy, right, you're going to kind of flow in your feminine without yelling, without screaming, without going crazy on men. But it's not about being so mean as it is about understanding you don't need to overcompensate by trying so hard to be likable. Okay? That's going to feel mean. Do you follow me? It's going to feel mean when you're not trying to be likable, but I promise you, guys aren't taking it like that. In fact, they like that. And they appreciate when you're not trying to be likable, because that's actually when you become likable to the people that are already interested in you. Right? Rich Girl Era says, he said he liked me when I was mean. Perfect. So now you know exactly how you can just continue to be, right? And you don't have to try so hard, right? Chris says, trying so hard to be likable, too good. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it's a shocking realization when you realize that trying to be likable makes you less likable, okay? Being a people pleaser is a very painful place to be in your life, because that is the moment that you will please the least amount of people, okay? Trying to please everyone pleases nobody, okay? Under Chastity says, I need a guy who likes it mean. Is that, oh, okay. Is that a thing of yours? You want a guy who likes it mean, okay? Tamika says, meanness is attractive for lots of guys. Weird, right? Very strange. Oh, let me go into our donations here. Thank you so much to those of you who donated. Oh, also thank you so much to, it was Go Plants who donated, I think, another Galaxy, one of those big donations in TikTok. So thank you a lot, Go Plants. I appreciate that. Imana donates $2 in the YouTube chat. She says, I'm a new subby. I love your channel and drawing. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You guys know I'd be struggling with the art stuff, okay? Nicole Cottom donates $5. One of our most amazing, generous subs here. It seems like men naturally have a self-confidence that you are trying to instill in us. Is this basically true? Great show, Thompson. Well, obviously, just like for you as women, men, some of them struggle with their own self-worth and self-confidence, right? They have their own insecurities and things like that, okay? That's not anything weird or strange. It just can manifest itself in different ways when it comes to men than women, right? Sometimes you might encounter a guy who's insecure, but instead of it manifesting in a way where he's like, "Oh, I'm so insecure. Don't look at me. Don't look in my direction." Insecurity for men can sometimes be projected out as anger. So they might bully you, right? Or they might bully other people. They might be rude to you, call you names, put you down, right? And that projection of anger is actually insecurity, because it's a weird thing. I don't want to get too deep in psychology here, but it's a weird thing that because men grow up a lot of times hearing suppress your emotions, you shouldn't cry, you shouldn't feel things, you should just be a man, you should be a soldier. What ends up happening is the only emotion they see from other men and they feel there is okay for them to express is anger. So then what happens in their mind, and as they grow up, they start to, anytime they have a feeling or emotion, they funnel all of their range of emotions through anger, because that's the only one they feel like they should be expressing. So when they're sad and upset, it funnels into anger. When they're disappointed, it funnels into anger. When they're anxious, it funnels into anger. When they're insecure, it funnels into anger, because that's the only one that they learn to be able to express, or that they're allowed to express. So it's like you have to either unlearn that, or you have to see that from your father or other father figures in your life to understand that there's other emotions that you can express, and it's fine to express, right? It's kind of something you have to unlearn and unteach yourself as a man, because, you know, the world is kind of like depicting on you these same ideas all the time. Does that make sense? Someone says it must be exhausting to be a man. I wouldn't complain that much, but I'm not a complainer, okay? There's good and bads to every part of life, okay? No matter who you are. Panda says, yep, had a guy do that to me, then he asked me out. No F-boy done. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, chat. Let's hop into our second part of the show. Okay, I told you guys, get your questions ready for me if you have a personal question. Also, get your Discord questions ready for me, because at the end of the show, we're going to hop into our Discord section where I answer questions of yours about your relationship live on the show. So if you want to get in your question on the Discord section for free, you can go ahead and drop your question in now. Just go to our Discord. It's in the link in my bio on TikTok. It's also in the link in my description on YouTube, because when we get into the Discord section, we going. So make sure your question there waiting for me. All right. Let's hop into, though, in our next segment. It's our React segment, where I react to videos from the TikTok universe that you all have sent to me. So spam up your camcorder emojis, spam up your headphone emojis, spam up your baby oil emojis, because we're filming this in 4K like Diddy would. All right, and we're gonna start to watch these videos. I'm gonna clean up here. While I clean up, we're gonna watch an intermission video, so you're not just watching me clean up. And it's only gonna take me a minute. We're gonna watch a video that comes from Steven Speaks. Today, he's gonna talk about the 9 signs he's in love with you. While he does that, I'm gonna clean up, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so Steven Speaks, take it away for them.
So desire to provide for you is definitely a sign he's in love with you. The second sign that he's in love with you is that he's willing to make sacrifices, and he becomes more open-minded to the things that you like. So first, let's start with sacrifices. Again, you have to understand that men who are not serious about a woman, they're trying to get more for less, all right? The idea of compromise, sacrifice, providing, these are things that do not translate or they're not embraced by the man who's just looking to have fun or who's not serious about you. But on the flip side, the man who does embrace those things. And so now he's more willing to sacrifice his time. Now he's more willing to sacrifice his finances. He's more willing to make adjustments to, again, ensure that you have what you need or to make sure that you're good. All right. He's more willing to go above and beyond. And that's what happens when we make sacrifices. We're essentially going above and beyond. Now, listen, let me make something clear. I don't encourage or push the idea of sacrifices to the extent of depleting yourself and now you're unhappy and miserable. And I push that message to both men and women. We are supposed to pour into each other, and yes, there will be moments of sacrifice. But now when you find yourself constantly sacrificing to where you're losing yourself, now you've crossed the line too far. All right. And I just had to mention that because many people do get caught up. They get so caught up in their love or their belief of being in love with this person that they go way past the line of sacrifice to where now it becomes unhealthy and toxic for the relationship. But going back to the original point, yes, he is willing to be more flexible, to bend more in that area, to accommodate you more in that area. But now also, as I mentioned, he is more open-minded to the things that you like. So, for example, let's just say he doesn't like, I don't know why this is coming to my mind because I had a previous client. Anyways, he doesn't like dancing, all right? He's not a big on going out dancing. But you love dancing and he loves you. So now he's a little bit more willing to at least try it. He's a little bit more willing to go. Even if he's not all into it, he wants to be there for you, all right? It could be even the foods that you like to eat. He's a little bit more willing. Now, listen, some things, some people are just not going to be for. For example, maybe you love jumping out of airplanes and he's like, hell.
Our React segment. And we're going to start this off. Oops. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? We got Mr. Steven Speaks here. We got to put on our... There we go. There we go. All right. So let's get started. Who we got? Someone said, what's the title of that Steven Speaks video? The title of that video was The 9 Signs He Loves You or Likes You. One of those two. Okay. Let's get started with our first video here. Make sure we're on the right place. So we did him yesterday. We did her. I believe we did him as well. I think we have her next.
What do you miss about him? All the dates he never took you on? All the flowers he never gave you? All the compliments he never gave you? Him getting mad at you for bringing up your feelings? Him giving you the silent treatment? You miss that? You miss that? Nope. Okay, you miss his potential. The potential that actually you created. You miss the idea of him that you had literally in your head. That was not real. What do you miss about him? All the dates he never took you on? All the flowers.
You know what's funny? Loneliness can play such an evil trick on you where when you're not with a guy anymore because your life is boring, you're more inclined to feel lonely. And then you start to associate the fact that you're bored and lonely with missing the guy. But you don't actually miss the guy. You just miss having company to hang out with and a human being that is just there and present. But you have to differentiate the difference between being lonely and being bored with actually missing some qualities that that guy had, right? And possess that is as like you're actually losing out on something, which is exactly why I talk to you guys about your routine, keeping up with your routine, building your routine, having one in general, having other things in your life that also bring you happiness. Because as soon as that becomes your sole source of happiness, you'll feel like even if he wasn't doing anything for you, like something is missing in your life, which it's not. Most of the time, it's not.
You want to know how to get in a guy's head? And I'm talking about making him addicted to you. I'm going to tell you 3 ways to do this in the
Chat, should I get a sweater like that? Is that a dope sweater or that doesn't fit my vibe?
last one is, and men are going to hate me for sharing this because if you get in a guy's head, as much as we say we don't like it, deep down we love it. The first way to get in a guy's head is to make him earn your attention. Men, we value what we have to work for. Instead of always being available to him, let him wonder about you. When he asks to see you, don't clear your schedule. Be selective. This isn't about playing hard to get. This is about being hard to get, because your time and energy and attention is sacred. Because how can you stay on his mind if you're always in his face? The second way to get in a guy's head.
Wow, he has bars. He has bars. He has a sweater and bars. Some of you said no, the sweater is not. We should do a poll. Some of you guys said no, sweater is not your vibe. Damn.
Is to hold the power of the pause. When he asks you a question or makes a bold statement, don't rush to fill the silence. Let the moment breathe. Take a beat. Look him in the eye and answer slowly and intentionally. These little pauses, along with the third tip that I'm going to share with you, are electric because it pulls him into your orbit.
I would actually say that that does work. It does work, but it's like that's like a pro one. So it's one of those things where you got to be a pro to do this. If you're not a pro, you're going to sound a little bit awkward doing it. But what the idea that I like to always implant in your guy's mind, you want to be the most seductive you can possibly be. Go into every date that you have thinking to yourself, I'm going to be a sexy therapist. Okay, I'm going to be a sexy therapist and like a sexy listener. Okay, so I'm going to ask him questions and then I'm going to listen in a way that's super seductive with my body language as he's telling me. He should be confused whether he's going to trauma dump on me or whether he's so horned up he's going to bust in his pants, right? It should be borderlining on that level of confusion in his mind, right? I don't know if I want to trauma dump. I don't know if I want to bust him in my pants. Which one? Right? And that is the perfect place for you to be where you're in ultra seduction mode. Okay. If you want to think of a character that you want to play in your mind and how you want to present yourself.
Making him curious. And if you didn't know, curiosity is addictive. The third way to get in the guy's head is to speak like honeyed smoke. Your voice is one of the most powerful tools of seduction. Only if you know how to wield it properly. Slow your voice down. Let it be melodic, warm, and unhurried, almost scratchy like velvet smoke wrapped in honey. I want you to speak as if every word is deliberate. Now, obviously, I'm a man. I can't replicate that voice, but I want you to study because there are certain women who do this properly. I don't know if it's natural for them or they just put it on, but study Zoe Kravitz in The Batman as Catwoman, especially her scenes with Batman. She has it down to a T. And this isn't about being performative.
You can also study. So there's this thing that I seen. Oh my God, the kids are doing crazy things nowadays. There's this thing that I seen because I research a lot. And I remember the last time we were having a conversation about having a yacht friend. Some of you were saying, well, what about ChatGPT? And I'm like, why are people, is this a joke? And then I realized, no, you guys are serious. There's ChatGPT and then there's this thing called CAI, like C.AI. And it's like ChatGPT, but Wattpad version, where instead of ChatGPT being like a professional, it's like he's in a Wattpad story and he talks to you like it's Wattpad. So the reason I say that is the way the ChatGPT Wattpad talks, like the way he talks in that C.AI, it's kind of the same idea, right? I think that one's a man. I don't know if you can make it a girl too, but it's the same idea of the type of voice he's talking about, right? Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. You shouldn't. I don't even want you to know what that is. We're never going to use AI to build connections, or that shouldn't be your confidant. Okay? No. I'm not. No, we shouldn't even repeat it. Okay? None of that. I don't even want you guys checking it out. Let's go on to our next one.
If you have even an iota or a shred of hope left in the back of your mind somewhere that you guys are going to get back together or they're going to change and they're going to become a different person, then I'm telling you, you're not going to move on and you're not going to be able to let go of the fantasy version of the relationship and fully accept the reality version. Hope is going to be very dangerous in this situation. You have to see the reality of the situation. And I know, baby girl, that you're sad and upset because they came and basically dropped a bomb in your entire life. And now you're the one who has to be responsible to clean up all of the collateral damage. And you're saying, but it's just not fair. And it's not just that they get to walk away scotch-free. Baby girl, no. They lost you. They lost access to you. They no longer can have you in their life, somebody who was upgrading their life and making them healthier and smarter and wiser and more financially savvy and all the things, and they lost that. So that is their punishment, baby girl, but you have to let go of the hope at the same time.
So you guys always ask me, we had even a whole show on it, how to make a guy regret losing you. And I always start whenever, even when you guys ask me a personal question, you submit one to me and I answer this in my personal questions. I always say the first step to making a guy regret losing you is that he actually has to lose you. So it's kind of like a catch-22, because when you're saying regretting losing you, if he hasn't lost you, or if you're planning on coming back, or if you're planning on being around, you just want him to feel hurt, it's not the same effect, right? If he still feels like he has you in his life, or he can get you back into his life, there's not going to be that regret there. So a lot of times, if you actually want guys to feel that pain, you have to actually be gone, and you actually have to move forward and do the steps required to move forward. Because if you don't, then you're the one that's going to be in pain, you know, wondering why he hasn't realized how much he wants you now and sent you this big long message or put a boombox outside your house. Okay. Him regretting losing you, a part of that is I'm actually losing you. Okay. So that's the whole point.
Ladies, when a guy does this, he's trying to get you to chase him. Do not ever do this. Listen, if you're talking to a guy and
I could have sworn we did a show yesterday and we watched one of his videos, and he was saying that men who have options don't chase. So what is this video now? Okay, maybe I'm confused. Maybe he just looks like the other creator from yesterday. I swear we did a video just like that.
he randomly, for no reason, you know, likes to pull away when everything seems good, or, you know, he'll start an argument over something so small and then pull away. He's trying to get you to chase him. Don't chase him. And then a lot of girls will say, oh my God, guys act like women. It has nothing to do about gender. What it has to do about is power.
Sorry, I can't not call this out if that was actually him. I have to see. So his name was Luxury. Oh yeah, it's literally right here. Luxury.
Ladies, let me tell you something. The guy that you want, he's not going to chase you. All right. A lot of times when you see girls in relationships and they're explaining, oh yeah, he chased me, it's because that was the guy that she didn't really want.
Okay. So guys aren't going to chase, but okay. I guess it doesn't not make sense still, right? I was just wondering.
Ladies, when a guy does this, he's trying to get you to chase him. Do not ever do this. Good, or, you know, he'll start an argument over something so small and then pull away. He's trying to get you to chase him. Don't chase him. And then a lot of girls will say, oh my God, guys act like women. It has nothing to do about gender. What it has to do about is power and control. You don't understand when men do this stuff, they just want power and control over you to get you to do what they want. And you don't understand how subtle it is and how it will transpire throughout the relationship. So he slowly gains more power over you and more control over you, to the point that it will become subconscious for you to do it.
I say such the most beautiful stuff when I'm muted and you guys miss it. Why would you miss it? It's your fault I'm muted. Relationships are like control. Everyone's, relationships are like war. Everyone's fighting for control, right? So even when it's the guy that you love, right? You're Prince Charming. Never forget that there's always a control play at play. I know that it sounds really depressing to think that way, but just remember that whenever you're thinking to yourself, well, this is happening and my natural response is this, or I want to say this, or I want to do that, think to yourself, who's actually the one in control when I do that? When I freak out, when I go crazy, when I send him a long message, when I call him 60 times because he didn't call me, or he flopped on our date, and I'm crying and I'm sulking and I'm telling him how horrible I feel. Who's actually in control here? Who actually has the power? Is it him or is it me? Because whoever continues to have that power and control will continue to dictate if they get what they want in the relationship. So I know it sounds horrible, but you have to be thinking like that if you actually want the treatment that you want. Okay?
What is the difference between chasing and reaching out? This is a big, big thing that you and I need to talk about, okay? And after I do Pilates, I'm on a high, so get ready for the explanation. The difference between chasing and reaching out is this. In every initial stage of dating, there is a pursuit and then there is a cooling off doubt phase. That's what I'd call it, doubt phase. It comes on both parties. Is this really the person for me? I don't know. Maybe I can do better. I mean, she's hot, right? She's hot and she likes me. So that must mean I'm the hottest guy around. I can do better. Let me just think about it. Let me take a step back. That is the doubt phase. You need to let a man go through that. It doesn't mean he needs to disrespect you. It doesn't mean he needs to be awful to you, but he might pull away a little bit. And this is the key of reaching out versus chasing. If you're going to chase him, you are going to text him and call him and be like, hey, Jake, I noticed you haven't called me for like 2 weeks. I noticed you haven't called me since yesterday. You normally text me good morning. Like, is something wrong? Is something happening? That is a chase. You're chasing for an answer. You're chasing for a result. You're chasing to be closer. You're trying to bring that person closer to you with what you're saying now. Reaching out is this. Let's say for 2 days now he hasn't messaged you, but you want to hear his voice. There's nothing wrong with that. You're a human being, and I'm not going to tell you to stonewall him or ghost him or any of that stuff. He's thus far not respected you. He's been a great guy. He's not broken a promise. He's not told you he's going to meet you and stood you up. So you can by all means reach out. How to reach out is the key. Ready? You're going to reach out and you're going to tell him an amazing story, your amazing smoothie you had, an amazing place you went with your friends. You're going to entertain him. You're going to be light and fun and amazing. And that's it. That's it. You're not going to question him. You're not going to berate him. You're not going to nag him. And a lot of people in my comments are going to say, but you're letting him get away with da-da-da. Notice what I just said before. If this person has not disrespected you, if they've disrespected you, it's time to get bored. That behavior is very boring. But if it's the initial doubt phase, you can by all means reach out. But you're not asking, how are you? Have you thought about me? No, you are being the amazing you that you are. If you want to hear from them, by all means call them. But don't do it many times. Do it once. Do it again. Do you know what he's going to do? He's going to be like, wow, she's not psycho. This is amazing. Maybe by being with her, I'm going to get both love, affection, and feel needed by her, and space. Christ. You know, sometimes people don't call you back because you're going to rip their head off.
I like Margarita, but I actually don't agree with this simply because I know how guys think, and I also know what the reaching out will do. And if you're in a situation like that, I know what you're trying to extract from that. If a guy doesn't reach out to you for 2 days, 3 days, even if there's no fight or argument, I know that if your anxiety is already starting to bubble, right? It's on like a simmer, and you're doing this or taking this strategy to say to yourself, okay, well, I know that he hasn't reached out in a few days, but I know that there's nothing particularly wrong. I just want to talk to him. And you're thinking of how you're going to craft your message. Remember, your anxiety is like at a simmer at that point. When you send that message and you do the bubbly, oh, I had an amazing smoothie, I did this today, I did that today, and he didn't even ask you, you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, hopefully when I say all this, he's going to see how amazing I am and send me a message. But then when he doesn't reach back out to you, or his response isn't, oh my God, I'm so glad you reached out, I just wanted to tell you that blah, 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 blah. Now, if he doesn't reach back out to you, or he doesn't reciprocate that energy, your anxiety goes from a simmer to now it's at a boil. Okay. And now you're thinking, oh my God, this guy doesn't like me. He doesn't want me. This isn't working out. I don't think I'm the girl for him. I must not be hot enough. My dump truck's not big enough. And this is a very bad place for you to be in, because now the next time that you talk to him, not only do you feel a little bit more powerless because you reached out and he didn't respond, but now you also feel like I need to do something to compensate for the fact that I'm losing him now. Okay. And the reason I say I just avoid this is because I know that this can trigger the death spiral. Okay. Anytime I refer to the death spiral, I'm referring to when you do something to try to get him to like you more, and that action doesn't get you the response you want. So now you feel you need to do another action to kind of recover from that. And every subsequent action just sends you down, 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 down deeper, doing more and more and more, getting less and less and less. So don't begin the death spiral. Keep yourself sane, especially in those early beginning stages. Just don't reach out. And let him be the one to complain to you. So anytime I don't text you, anytime I don't call you, I never am going to hear from you. Ha 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 ha, no, it's not even that. And you just ignore it. Ha ha ha, it's not even like that. Oh my God. Let them call you out for not texting you, right? Let them call you out for not texting them and not calling them, right? Let them be the one to call you out. Oh, so when I don't speak to you for a couple of days, you don't reach out? Oh, my bad. I was just doing whatever. Okay, that's good. Keep men in that place. No need to put them in a place where you're the one to, I see you haven't messaged. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, please.
I'm gonna give you some unsolicited advice because we're cousins. Delete the dating apps.
Why is the screen black? What's going on?
What is
I'm gonna give you some unsolicited advice because we're cousins.
What the hell is going on?
I'm gonna give you some unsolicited advice because we're
Okay. I'm pretty sure this video wasn't black screen when I played it the first time.
You're either a builder girl or you're a dream girl, and you get to make the choice. Builder girls are like, please love me, I'll help put your life together, when a man hasn't even proved himself to her. Dream girls are not focused on what...
Chat, you think if we had Christian on the show, he would yell the entire show? Is that even possible? He must have a crazy just energy threshold because he's insane.
Man, they're not emotional prisoners to the crushes they have. They're like, I want marriage, I want kids, I want a provider, I want a supportive man, and I'm not gonna give myself over to a guy when he hasn't even proven to me the man he is. He hasn't even shown me what he's bringing. He hasn't shown me what he'll do for me. Why should he get access to me? Builder girls are desperate to be loved, and through their desperation, they're used as stepping stones for men before a man finds his dream girl. A man will stop off at a builder girl and build himself up emotionally, build himself up financially, until he has the skills and tools to go bag a dream girl. Now, don't get confused. Builder girls a lot of the time have tons of men around them. Just because you have a lot of men around you does not make you a dream girl. If you're willing to be used by men, of course you're gonna have a lot of men. They'll stop off at you like you're a train station. Dream girls are focused. They're not willing to be messed with or played with. So of course the options are going to be more limited. You get to choose what energy you're in. Are you willing to be
Someone said the spit spray is flying.
used? Are you desperate for love? Or do you value yourself? Do you think your goals are important enough to stand your ground and wait for a king? You're either...
I mean, he would be a great best friend, right? He's very passionate, okay? My passion comes across a little bit different. But I like what Christian's saying here, right? Don't be the builder girl, right? Don't be building men up to try to turn them into what you want them to be, only for them to, get all of that, soak up all of that knowledge and goodness through you, and then go ahead and take their nice, their confidence now and their upgraded ego, and then they go and chase after the woman that they actually want. Don't build men up to be what someone else is going to get and, work with and be super happy with and get princess treatment from, okay? Be the person who he comes ready to do everything that he needs to do for you and your happiness, okay?
I don't bring shit to the table, bitch. I don't even have the fucking table. Where is the fucking table? I don't even have the fucking table, bitch. I don't bring...
Wait, what?
You're...
I don't bring shit to the table, bitch. I don't even have the fucking table. Where is the fucking table? I don't even have the fucking table, bitch. I don't bring shit to the... Where's the table? Where are we?
Why are the words on a mountain background as if they're supposed to be inspirational? Is this inspirational content? Who sent this to me? Is this inspirational content? This is what the kids are watching on TikTok for inspiration? Is it? Please tell me the kids aren't watching this for inspiration on TikTok. This is ridiculous. What is this?
I don't bring shit to the table, bitch. I don't even have the fucking table.
Why are they writing the words out like this is inspiration?
Is table?
Is this the kids' motivation nowadays? Oh. Our children are cooked. Our youth is cooked. Is this they put the...
I don't even have the fucking table, bitch. I don't bring shit to the... Where's the table? Where are we? Where are we? Where is the food at? Am I trapped in your basement right now? I don't bring shit to the table.
Why is there nature in the background like this is motivational? Our youth is cooked.
Bitch, there's no table. We're trapped. The table is in your mind. have nothing to bring to the table. I'm here with you. I am the table. Actually, I'm the plate. I don't bring shit to the table, bitch.
And then they're
I don't even have the fucking table. Where is the fucking...
Our youth is cooked. Is this supposed to be inspirational? What is this? What type of content is this? I don't know. Someone described to me. Is this a new format of content? This has 1 million likes. Is this motivation for the youth now? This, I kid you not, chat. This has 1 million likes. You can see it there. 100,000 saves. This is Gen Z motivation. Okay. Someone said it's satire. I mean, they put the nature in the background. How much satire is it? 1 million likes. Okay, that's the yeah, okay. It's a joke. Oh, yeah. All right. I guess I take.
I'm gonna give you some unsolicited advice because
what's going on? Anyways,
it takes you 30 days to see if you like this person. It takes you 60 days to know if you want to continue with this person. Take you 90 days to start dating. I'm not trying to hear nothing else but that. It takes you 30 days to see if you like this person. It takes you 60 days to know if you want to continue with this person. Take you 90 days to start dating. I'm not trying to hear nothing else but that.
Sounds good in theory. I don't like the day counter, the week counter, the how many dates it's been counter, simply because when you do your counter, 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, we could spend all 30 days watching Netflix. Would you know me any better? No. We could spend all 60 days going to movies, sitting around, ordering Uber Eats, having pineapples. Do we know each other any better? No. Do we have a deeper connection? No. Are we bonded anymore? No. Okay. Did we become any closer? No. So we spent a whole bunch of time, but what's the quality of that time? If we're unsure, right, or if the quality is, there's not any quality assurance, I should say, then you can spend a lot of time with someone and 90 days can come and go and you're thinking to yourself, well, now's the time to sleep with him because it's 90 days. But how much really do you know that person? Because after 90 days, you can just have spent 90 days with them, but not actually know them any better in those 90 days. So just something to think about whenever people talk about, oh, 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, whatever days, okay? Whatever.
So this is gonna sound really cheesy, but I'm writing my vows right now, so that's just like the headspace that I'm in. There's a common thread that I've found in every single person that I know that's met their husband. And it's that when you meet that person for the first time, whether it be on a first date or like however it is that you end up meeting the person that becomes your husband, you kind of have this feeling of like, oh, like I'm gonna fall in love with this person. And it's not like love at first sight where you're immediately infatuated. It's more like it kind of hits you in your stomach that meeting this person is gonna change your life forever. And it's more an acceptance of the fact that like this is going to be the person that you build your life with. When you meet the person that ends up becoming your husband, you recognize them. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like walking into a wall, and it's really intense. And it took me months to digest. It's not necessarily like, oh my God, I'm all googly-eyed. I think that happens to some people, but I think the more common human experience is, okay, so it's happening. I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it, but like you feel it like in your bone marrow, like you feel it. So like when you know, like you know. So this is gonna sound really cheesy, but
I think a better way to describe that is, so the thing that I take from this, if you can get good at recognizing as you grow into an adult, into a mature person, if you can get good at growing at understanding you and your needs, going into a relationship and finding the person that you're actually going to spend the rest of your life with becomes easier and easier the better you become at discovering your own needs and what works for you honestly in a relationship. Because then when you meet that person, it's easier to identify that that's the person you're looking for. It's also easier to identify that that's the person you're not looking for. And a lot of your, I guess we could say, younger years or more immature years can be spent wasted not being so sure about yourself and what your needs are, that when you meet people, you literally have to start experimenting by figuring out, I don't know, does this work for me? Does this not? I don't even know what I'm looking for here. So you're kind of fumbling and stumbling, and then added on top of that, as a woman, you think, well, it's the guy's job to kind of do everything in terms of the relationship. So you don't think to yourself, well, is anything here working for me? Do I like him? Is he meeting my needs? You're only thinking about him and if you're meeting his needs. So I guess the whole concept of what I think she's trying to explain is one of the most important parts of knowing is even knowing what you need in the first place and knowing what works for you and what matters to you in the first place. Okay, right? Someone says you should please do one session about college dating. I think we kind of talked about
3 signs she's a bop. Number 1, she wears different color hair. If her hair is a whole different color from her natural hair, she's for the streets. If she wears blue, red, green, red, purple, blue, silver, gray, orange, not orange, she's for the She's getting buzzed down in the club. She at the after parties getting passed around like a hot potato. She letting dudes play with her with dirty fingers. She's getting the lifeline knocked out of her for drinks and wings. Number 2, if she has a body full of tattoos. If she has a body full of tattoos, she's getting the Mario coins knocked out. She's getting put through the mattress. She's getting nailed for free tattoos and piercings. She got your number saved under free food. You are definitely in her meal plan. Number 3, if she posts thirst traps. She's a Facebook and Instagram thought. She has an OnlyFans page. You will see her on Twitter being a throat. She got a whole football team in her DM. She getting bent over the balcony at somebody's penthouse. She texting you good night while she texting another man she can't sleep. Still inboxing her and blowing up her phone like a diamond. Her and the dude that's clapping cheeks laughing at you. While you sitting there waiting for her phone call and text, he putting her head through the wall. She getting DDT'd on the floor. Don't be that guy. Avoid this woman at all costs. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.
He always be saying getting put through the mattress. Y'all like getting put through the mattress? I see some people, they be like, I want to get thrown against the wall. That's some, I guess it's some people's vibes. I wouldn't know anything about that. But yeah, let's move on to our next point. Okay? Our next section, I should say. Our next section is a very, very important, amazing, awesome section. We're going to have lots of fun, okay? And we're going to have lots of laughs, giggles, and it's going to be a great time, okay? If you know what time it is, please spam it up in the chat because I want to see if you're an OG Players Club member, and I want to see if you really know what we're about to do here. Those of you who are confused, you have no idea what's going on, I'm going to tell you something. You better not look at your clock. You better not look at your watch. You better not look at your phone, and you better look nowhere else in your home. If you don't know the time, I'm going to tell you the time. Okay, chat, enough silliness, all right? Let's hop into our Discord section of the show. Now, for those of you who have no idea what that even means, I'm going to explain this to you really quick. So Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of our Discord Players Club community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their situationship or their relationship, and I answer it live on the show. Now, there's a few different ways that you can send in your question, and I'm going to explain them all to you in just a moment as we get our Discord section to load. Okay, so the first way is by sending in your question to our relationship advice forum. Okay, our free relationship advice forum. Now, our free relationship advice forum is here where you can access it by going to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. And you can drop in your question, and it's on a first come, first served basis. Now, I'll warn you, sending in your question today. I obviously have these highlighted ones because I haven't gone to them. So it is going to take me probably like a week to get to your question if you're asking yours today. Now, if you don't feel like waiting that long to get your question answered, you also have the option to go into our relationship advice premium section and be able to skip the line of questions. Oh, okay. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, and be able to skip the line of questions. Now, the way that you access our premium section is by going into my TikTok bio or the link in my description. Then you click Premium Discord Relationship Advice. You click that, you donate to the show, you put in the title of your username and the title of your question. It's going to prompt you. It won't let you send in your question without that or your donation without that. Then you go in here, you drop in your question, and then I get a notification on my phone. I see that that's you. And then it's like a skip the line pass for you to be able to go before all the other people that I answer their question, okay? Now, this is the one that a lot of you guys have been using. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a new one for all of you guys who are curious. This private relationship advice question form here is for those of you who want me to answer your question. You just don't want it to be on the show. Like you don't want me to be talking about your business on the show, which is fine. You can also send it in your question that way. You go to that's in the Discord there if you want to click on that. It's also available, the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. You can send in your private relationship question. I answer it with a voice message and I send it directly to your email. No one else sees it but me, okay? My voice messages are like 10 minutes long, I'll be honest with you. So it's very in-depth in detail. All right, let's hop into our first question here on the show today. Our first question today comes from, okay, that one was deleted. Oh, no. She kind of resent it in. All right, let's read out. There's no name here, but it just says autism. Hi, I'm a 19-year-old. Unfortunately, we do not do any questions under 20 years old. Okay, it's not because I don't like you. It's because we have to keep it fair, and we have to have a cutoff point, or else we'll have people 13, 17, 16 sending questions in, and then it just becomes a little bit inappropriate for relationship talk. So we keep the age limit at 20 plus to keep it adult in our Discord time. Okay, what are princess ways to show appreciation? Okay, beautiful one. Hi, I'm 29, not currently dating. What are some ways that women can show her partner appreciation that isn't peasant energy? The things that I have done in the past have not served me, like buy him random gifts often, send him love messages, run candle baths for him, write him poems, compliment him, rub his feet. Damn, you be doing a lot. Wake up early to make his lunch, even when my shift started 5 hours later. Cook for him, although I hate cooking. Clean and organize his house to hotel standards. What? Okay. Iron his clothes, fold his underwear, wear the style of clothes he liked, wear his favorite color, be in lingerie when he gets home from work. You're living in a Wattpad story. This is insane. Okay. I want to be a good partner, but I'm afraid of the dynamic changing from me being too nice. So I need to know how far to go. How much should I reciprocate of his romancing or doing these things for me? Should I say stay doing nothing and always receiving? I have no issue with that, but I just want to know this answer. I just want to know the answer to this for sure so that I know how to proceed when it's time for me to get into a relationship. Okay. Okay. Beautiful one. This process here, nothing that you said here in all of this long, you do a lot, okay? Wow. Love songs, you write the love songs or you send him songs that are already be created by someone else. Either way, this is a lot. This whole thing here is all things that you do for a man, okay? So nothing particularly wrong with these things in itself. What we don't want, though, is you doing that for people who don't call themselves your boyfriend. And this can become the problem. When you're giving all of this without receiving much in return, and especially without receiving commitment from him in return and a promise that, hey, I actually want to build this with you, you can put yourself in a situation where men will take advantage, because this whole list here, they'll take advantage of all of this. You think there's any man who would say no to this while not committing to you? So what you have to be careful of is giving too much and overextending yourself without receiving anything in return. So what I want for you, beautiful one, is not that you'll be never give anything to the guy that you're dating and care about. But what you want to do is you want to start ramping it up as time goes along and progressing it as time goes along, right? Think of it like a stepping ladder, right? And each progression gets them a little bit more and a little bit more of investment from you. But what you don't want to be doing is, if you want to think of it like investment, think of it as you want to backload a lot of your investment. So meaning, when the relationship starts, you're giving little to no investment. You're seeing how much he likes you, how intentional he is, how consistent he is. Over the course of time, as you know, he's more consistent, months are going by, and he's continuing to show you the same things and not switch it up and show you that he really wants to build this. Then you start backloading your favors and the things that you do for him, right? Because now that he's shown you he's intentional and consistent with you, you can start doing some things for him in return without worrying about the fact that he might just be taking advantage of you. But you're still gradually increasing those things over the course of time and never doing all of these things in one day. So you know how you gave me a whole long list here of all the random things that you'll do for a guy that you'd really like? You pick one that you're going to start doing after a couple of months, and then you pick another that you're going to add after a couple of months, and then you just keep adding until you get to actually being his girlfriend. Then you can add a bunch of these things at once. But you shouldn't be doing all of them at the same time for a guy who doesn't even call himself your boyfriend. Never do that, okay? You're never over investing, especially when you're in a situation where that guy doesn't have that same level of investment into you. So that's my simple answer. None of these are bad, but you want to increase them gradually and backload them over the course of time, right? When you're actually in a real relationship, not just, oh, I'm talking to a guy that I like type of thing, right? Someone said girlfriend, this is wifey type of thing. So you could also see it like that as well, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's go on to our next question here. This one comes from Yummy Yogurt Queen, okay? How can I get her to, wait, what? How can I get her to understand? Oh, okay. Yummy Yogurt Queen says, hi, Tomisin. My best friend has a boyfriend who's too comfortable. They are 23. They've been together since around 19. They have had the most toxic relationship throughout the years. She has mothered him, and she will still do everything for him. She always is the one to ask him out on dates, oh God, and buy him random things to make him happy. We call that a Big Misha. He is always so, I think you might say, careless in his responses to her. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, or 2 or 3 years into the relationship, that she found out he cheated on her multiple times with girls we know. She went all out, sicko mode, like literally. She got psychotic. It was a mess. During that time, she was so down bad. He has a brother who's 2 years older. He was there for her, and they kind of developed. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? During that time, she was so down bad. He, meaning her guy, has a brother who's 2 years older than her guy. He was there for her. What do you mean by that? And they kind of developed an emotional attachment during that period. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? The brother made her feel better. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Then the boyfriend / ex at the time got into a traffic accident and went to the hospital. She went to him every day to take care of him, and after that, they got back together despite the cheating. I don't think he ever said sorry for it either. Now they are older, and after they got back together, they made new boundaries. I'd love to hear what those new boundaries are. They don't have each other on Snapchat to snap every day. That's the new boundary. Let's not add each other on Snapchat so we don't snap every day. That's the magical boundary they came up with getting back together. Okay. They only text once in a while. Another magical, super hyper intelligent boundary to come up with. as a solution to, yeah. They don't know what each other does from time to time. She has, let me see here. She has chosen to trust him. He works a lot, so they only see each other every Sunday. Saturdays are for the boys, and he will not be bothered when he is with them. When she asks for small favors, he always gives off the vibe that it's too much to ask for. She complains to me about things he does and doesn't do. Okay, let's take a pause here. I'm not going to stand up because at least this isn't you. But let's take a pause here in the sense that, okay, this is going to have to, I don't know how to say this. I know you want to be a good friend, but there comes a point where when your friend is acting like this and then complaining to you about the results of her own actions, even though you want to be a good friend, there has to be a point where you say, look, I don't approve of anything you're doing here. And while I do want to be a good friend to you, if you're just going to complain to me about everything he doesn't do and then still go ahead and be with him and not actually address these things in your relationship, then you're honestly, I know you're my friend, but you're kind of wasting my time because you're just trauma dumping on me with no intention of changing anything. And the person who you actually have a problem with, you're not even addressing. So what's the point? If you don't feel like addressing that person because you're too scared or you don't want to end the relationship, then you might as well keep it to yourself. Because as your friend, I love you and want the best for you. But if you don't want the best for yourself, I'm not going to want that for you, right? Like I'm not going to want, the best for you and you don't even want it for you. So if you don't care enough to actually make a change in your relationship or walk away, don't waste my time by continuing to complain about something you have no intention of changing. I know that sounds mean, but like you also have to a little bit protect your own energy as a friend because you're going to become exhausted hearing this over and over and over again. And you're going to literally watch your friend destroy her own like life or self-esteem. And yes, you want to be there for her, but at the same time, it becomes like you're co-signing it when you just hear her talk about how bad it's making her life and then allow her to go back and just continue to do it. Because it's like, well, which one do you want to be? Right? And I get it. You want to be a good friend, but like at some point, like something's got to give, right? Is she just going to keep going in circles forever? Because remember as well, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but your friends are a representation of you. So if your friend can't stand up for herself, have some self-esteem and actually do something about her situation, like it comes to a point where that's going to kind of stunt your own growth as a human being. Because think about this. If you're growing and let's say you find you a nice boyfriend that treats you well and does everything you need and doesn't cheat on you a million times, what do you think it's going to be like in your friendship with her when she's telling you about how her man can't even see her on any days aside from Sunday and won't answer her messages? And you're telling her about how a guy just took you to Nobu last night, brought you a whole batch of roses and drove you around in a Porsche. How do you think that's going to make her feel? And how do you think she's going to respond? She's going to start building some resentment and jealousy towards you because she's going in a hamster wheel while you're seeing a lot of good things in your life and growing. So that becomes the problem when you have friends like this that are just going to go in circles because your growth is going to start to become offensive to them. Okay? So just something to look out for because you don't want to be in a situation where your friend is stagnant and then you're growing. Right? Because how are you supposed to share any of your happiness with her when she's doing this? Okay, let's go on. I have never heard her say something positive about him. It's always just complaints, but never actually changing anything. I have questioned him, but she always comes up with excuses for him. So now think about this. I told you about energy and wasting energy. Because you care so much, which is not a crime, you're actually doing the work for her of confronting the guy that she should be confronting. But this is going to become very frustrating for you because you're caring more to change her situation than she cares to change her situation. And in fact, when you're actually taking the time to try to help her, she's actually making it harder for you by defending him and coming up with excuses. Excuse me, I don't know what to do. But she claims that she loves him to death, though. Oh, I'm sure. Despite all that, she still talks about his brother, even though she says it will never happen. What do you mean? What do you mean she talks about his brother? I think it's just a fantasy for her. But still, she does everything to see the brother when we are out of town on the weekends. All right. That is going to make me take a break. Okay? That's going to make me stand up and take a little breather because I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure where your friend is at mentally. Okay? I'm not sure where this came from. I'm not sure why this is happening. I'm just not sure. Okay? So I'm going to boy, it's Friday. I'm gonna stretch the hips out, okay? Gotta stretch the hips out, okay? I did legs the other day, so it's a little bit sore. Gotta hit the downward dog, okay? Oh boy, all right, we might have to have a stretch cam. Gonna stretch the abs out, oh God, okay. It's just to get some of the energy flowing, chat, you know? I want to be able to receive it properly, what she's saying, so. Okay. All right. Yummy yogurt. I don't know where your friend's mind is at. So let me get this straight though. So you said that the day breakdown is that on Sundays is the only time that they hang out, right? Sunday, right? They hang out on Sundays. Saturdays are for the boys. So I'm assuming Sunday they're together, right? And Saturday, he's either at his house or at his boy's house. Are you telling me that on Saturday, she goes back over to his place when he's not there and sees the brother? Or like you said, right, when we are out of town on the weekends? And what do you mean she sees the brother? What are they doing? Someone said it's like a Tyler Perry movie. I agree. My question is, how do I get her to realize he is just a soy boy who takes everything for granted and only plays video games in his 5-day used boxers? Is this real? That's not. There's no way. What do you think? Is there still something to save her? Can I get her to realize? Or is it something she has to find out herself? Your friend's too far gone. Okay. And yeah, of course, they have a good times when they hang out too, but that's literally it. She has asked him for flowers from him. Even the flowers from the ground are good enough for her. She said he can pick up weeds off the ground and give it to her. He can pick up dandelions off the ground and give it to her. Are we 5? Okay. Since they got back together and he doesn't care enough to get them for her. So she said, you can pick the weeds off the ground. Pick the ones that are prickly. I don't even care. Yeah, that'll do it. I think to myself, that's not too much to ask for. Like, come on, dude. If he really was in love with her and wanted to make her happy, he would have done it, right? He doesn't love her. Okay. You can show her this. You can play this for her, right? This segment that we do. He doesn't love her. Not a chance, right? This is not how a man acts if he's in love with someone, right? It's actually the opposite. If he hates her and resents her, this is exactly how a guy acts. If a guy is using you and is just making you a placeholder until he can find better, this is exactly how he acts. If a guy knows that a girl will never leave him no matter what he does, and he can continue to get free, be able to jackrabbit himself inside of her whenever he wants and continue to get girlfriend treatment for as long as he can, this is how he treats a woman, right? He doesn't care. he has no standards because she has no standards, and he will continue to do nothing for her. And even if he could do less than nothing for her, he would do that. If he can find a way to do less than nothing for her, he will do that, right? He'll suck her dry emotionally, not physically. You think he's doing anything for her physically? Nothing for her actually, but he'll suck her dry emotionally, take every ounce of energy she has, right, for himself. And then eventually when he has some excess energy to use, he'll go and maybe find another girl that he'll chase around. If he even does that, because like you said, he be playing video games in his 5-day-old boxers. Okay. My other question is, what is she doing here? I don't understand this whole brother angle. Why is she hanging out with his brother like this? That's very inappropriate. Okay, that's very inappropriate. So she needs to figure out what she wants her damn self. And I feel like she just wants to be loved by someone and she just wants attention from someone, which is a very bad place to be in. But like I said, I mean, you're sending in this question for her, but does she even want this for herself? Because if she doesn't, then none of this matters, unfortunately. And even as her friend that tries to fix things for her and wants her life to be better, if she doesn't want that for herself, then she doesn't want that for herself. You can't make her want that. And the problem is, as her friend, like I said, if your life becomes really good and you start blossoming and growing and getting better and finding good men, I'm assuming you're a part of the Players Club, you're watching the show a lot. So if you start finding really good men and having really good relationships, you're thinking you're going to be best friends forever, but I promise you, it will put a wedge between you and her. Because she'll start to think to herself, why the F is this girl getting everything that I wish I could have? I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You might think that you're best friends forever and she would never think like that about you. But I promise you, when she's every day struggling to get the bare minimum, to get that guy to even pick flowers off the ground for her, and you're getting flowers at your feet every day and guys doing the most for you, she's not going to be very supportive of that. She's going to be very resentful of you and your friendship. So I'm just saying that to help you keep in mind that if this doesn't change, your relationship is only going to eventually split apart. So you kind of have some decisions to make in terms of, do you really want this to continue being your friend? Because if she can't pull herself out of this situation, it's going to be very tough for you when you want to start growing in your own life, when your closest friend is doing no growth, in fact, going backwards. Okay, so just something to keep in mind there. Okay, let's go on to our next question here. Let me see here. Oh, this is a beautiful one again. Let's we'll table your question, not because I don't like you, but because you already got one answered here today. So I'll table this and we'll go and answer Sis's question so everyone can get, their questions to ask, instead of me just answering one person's questions multiple times. Scheduling advice. Okay. So Sis says, I see you guys have been missing Anna. You guys happy to have Anna back? Okay. He now schedules a day ahead or the day of. Sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no. We don't have a date routine anymore because now that he's my boyfriend, he's allowed to see me up to 5 days a week as long as it doesn't exceed 8 hours by a lot. Okay. We don't have a date routine anymore. We know we see each other Wednesdays and Saturdays or Sundays for sure, but the rest of the plans are a day ahead or the day of. Is that fine? I would say for the most part, that's fine. There's still, the routine doesn't have to be super strict, but there should be some sort of rhythm to how often you guys see each other, right? There should be days that I'm usually free on these days. We can pick one of these days. And then there's days that I'm usually not free on these days. Okay, right? That's a natural thing to do, especially when you get into a relationship. It's good to build a rhythm so you're not kind of like confused on a week-to-week basis, right? It's one less thing to worry about. Also, we sometimes go to the gym for 2 hours together, but we each work out alone. But he just checks up on me a bit and we do 5-minute abs at the end. That's fine. I see couples do that at the gym all the time. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I don't really count that as part of the 8-hour weeks, or would it count? I wouldn't count it either, because obviously you have to go to the gym and he has to go to the gym. Now, what I wouldn't advise you to do is like change, because you're in med school, right? So what you're doing, your schedule is very tight. So don't be changing and adjusting your schedule so much to like fit around his, because you need your focus on your med school. If he chooses that he wants to come and work out with you at the times that you're working out already, then that's fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I would advise you, because I know that you're in med school because you've sent in other questions, don't be adjusting your schedule for him, because your schedule needs to be tight and well organized in order for you to fit in everything that you need, okay? So if he wants to come and work out at the gym at the same time you were already gonna go, then perfectly fine. But just don't be changing your workout schedule for him. That's my only piece of advice to you there. But the other things about your schedule is not an issue. That's perfectly fine how you're doing it, okay? Let's go on to our next question here. We'll do a few more. Let's see, I did the beautiful one. Okay, so this one is from Mimi. Mimi says, advice. Hi, I need your help. I don't cook for him. I don't have any of these things. I'm a full-time student and focused on going to med school. Chat. How many of you in the chat are in med school? Do we have am I attracting some sort of medical school audience? We have so many people in med school in the chat here, okay? It's very interesting. I wonder why that's the case. Is there something about me that screams I can help you if you're in med school? I worry that I should be doing it sometimes in my early 20s, right? Wait, what? My early 20s, same as him. We both still live at home. His brother's girlfriend always cooks for his brother, okay, and brings it to the house. My boyfriend sees this, and so does his parents, okay. I've bought baked goods. Sorry, I just okay, never mind. I'm not laughing at you. It's just funny because you're contrasting her cooking with you bringing baked goods. It's just funny. Over a couple of times for events, she brings stuff almost every time she comes. Should I play wife a little bit more? I don't want to compare, but sometimes I worry. But I'm busy and barely feed myself. Okay. There's nothing wrong with cooking for your man and nothing wrong with bringing food. This is a bit of a cultural thing though. So I don't know what culture that you are, but I do know in some cultures, this is more of a thing than in other cultures. In some cultures, the idea of coming over to a family gathering and bringing food is like a must. In some cultures, it's not really that big a deal. And so it a little bit does depend on the culture. But I wouldn't base what you do for him so much off of what his brother's girlfriend does for him. But what I do want you to be thinking about is, first of all, not how to be a pick-me-sha, but what is the culture of the person that you're dating, right? Is that a cultural norm or not? Now, I'm not saying if it is a cultural norm, then you have to absolutely do it, but there should be some sort of compromise there, right? And if you're not bringing it every time, but you're doing something sometimes, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that it's something where you have to do it every single time because you see someone else doing it. Also, let me acknowledge, this is your boyfriend, right? My boyfriend sees this and says, okay, so yeah, this is something that you do what is realistic for you, because you said you're focused on going to med school. So that's your priority right now. I know your boyfriend's, you want him to be your priority as well. But the reality of it is like your happiness in life comes first. So if you're in a place where you're either too busy, have too much on your plate and your schedule to be able to like bring him food every single time, then that's okay. Like you have to keep your priority. Now, if for whatever reason you have time and you can do that, then sure, you can bring over baked goods or you can bring over some hot food to the place and do that for him. But keep you first, like keep you the priority. You're a full-time student and you're focused on going to med school. So that's your priority first. If that gets accomplished or you have free time or you have things that you can, like you can move around, right? Then you can start saying, okay, I'll think about how I can do this or do that, right? You have to keep you first When you take care of you, then you can start thinking about how you're going to take care of other people. Med school is a large responsibility, okay? And if your man can't understand how big of a responsibility that is, how much time that takes up in your week and in your day, then he's not even being respectful of your own individuality, okay? Not saying that that means you can't do anything nice for him, but there has to be an understanding of you only have 100% of your time and energy. And med school is going to take up a lot of that. Any intelligent man who's done anything in life should know that. An immature man will only be thinking about himself. A selfless man will at least be able to understand that, okay? Let's do one more. So this one comes from, oh, no, that one's deleted. That one too. I think they sent these in our thing. Okay, so let's do this one because we don't want to do multiple ones from the same person. Do I give up? Hello, Tomisin. I'm 28. And I have been dating a man who's 25 for almost 2 months. The first month of dating was amazing. He respected my boundaries and didn't try to kiss me till our third date. On our dates, he would express how much he liked me and seen me as someone he would like to take seriously, and started asking me questions about if I would be willing to move in with him if he got deployed and if I wanted kids. About 3 weeks ago, he got sent away. Okay. He's in the Navy and was unable to contact me for 2 weeks. I thought I was being ghosted. It's the Navy. And was honestly going to delete his number. But last week, Friday, he texted me a long, long message saying he's been dealing with a lot and has witnessed death and is not in the right mindset to water a new relationship. Honestly, fair. Okay. In the Navy, he's in the front lines, whatever lines he's in, he's serving the country. He's going to see some things. So I'm not even going to say that that's unreasonable. Okay. And it's commendable that he said that to you. I don't have the mental fortitude to keep up with everything. The new relationship, not that it's an excuse for not communicating with you. Honestly, that's fair. I told him I understand, and when he feels up for some company, I'd love to see him. No, that's okay. Boy. So, okay. What he said is fair. At the same time, though, you're not in the business of keeping yourself on layaway, waiting for a man to be ready for you, okay? So, oh my gosh. Your response should not come from a place of, okay, whenever you do feel ready, I will be here waiting for you. That's not the response you give. You simply tell him, okay, I appreciate you for letting me know where you stand and how you feel, and then that's it. Okay? You don't say, I'm waiting for you. I'm here whenever you need me. If you want to talk to someone, like, I get it. Part of you is just being nice if you need someone to talk to, but you have to understand, like, there's a boundary there. Like, you're still in the midst of building this new relationship, and this guy's essentially breaking up with you and telling you, look, I'm not able to be in a relationship right now. Okay. So you have to accept that, like, if he really wanted to talk to you, I know you're trying to be nice and I know you're trying to, tell him that you're there for him, but if he really needs someone to talk to, he should be going to someone other than you, especially because this is like a newly established relationship, right? You're still in like the first not even few months. So you're like in the first month here. Okay. So like, you don't even need to be that person for him. So the reason I say that is because your response should just be, okay, I appreciate you for telling me that. Right. And that's pretty much it. You don't need to say, I'm here, communicate with me whenever, talk to me whenever, and all that other stuff. All right. So I told him I understand, and when he feels up for some company, I'd love to see him. And he said thank you, that he was anxious, I would be upset, and my calmer demeanor made his day. The conversation ended because I was walking into a spin class. He has yet to reach out. So see my point? Being overly nice doesn't even get you anywhere. He doesn't even end up reaching out. He has yet to reach out, and that was 5 days ago. Is he a lost cause? Update, his roommate texted me saying she thinks he's spiraling right now and not handling everything okay, that he's been going out every night and to be patient with him. I get it. The roommate is looking out for him. giving you an update, but okay. They're putting you in a very precarious situation because, like you said here, the first month you went through 1 month. So you guys, our dates have been good. I'm trying to see how far you're into the relationship. 3 weeks ago, he got sent. So let's assume you've been dating this man, right? Oh, sorry, you said it here, for almost 2 months. You've been dating him for 2 months, and his roommate is calling you to tell you what's going on with him. That's not, I just hate to sound insensitive here. That's not really an appropriate way to go about things. You're not supposed to be the person lifting his spirits and like talking to him when he's spiraling, and you guys only started dating 2 months ago, especially when this guy is telling you that he's not ready for a relationship. I see that the problem that I know when I say this, it's going to sound insensitive because a lot of you are hearing, oh, but he dealt with, someone dying and he probably really needs someone and all that good stuff. I'm not saying that him dealing with someone passing away makes him a bad person. But he specifically said, I'm not in the mental space to deal with a relationship, to water it, to nurture it, to grow one. I can't do it. And so when a guy tells you that, you can't think to yourself, well, this is my time to shine by being overly nice, being there for him in every capacity, while he tells me he doesn't want a relationship. Because what ends up happening when you overextend yourself like that, thinking you're being nice, is, yeah, sure, he might talk to you. Yeah, sure, he might connect with you. Yeah, sure, maybe you guys might even sleep together. But then after that, he'll tell you, wait a second. Yeah, I know we slept together. Yeah, I know we've been hanging out. Yeah, I know we've been spending time. But don't you remember when I told you a couple months ago that I'm not ready for a relationship? I'm still not ready for a relationship. And then you're going to turn around and say, wait. You've been letting me sleep with you. You've been letting me invest in you. You've been letting me call you every night. You've been letting us have conversations all the time about this and about that. How come you didn't let me know that you still weren't interested in building a relationship? And he'll tell you, this is what he'll say. I told you all the way back then, the first time. Nothing has changed. You just chose to continue messaging me, to continue calling me, or to continue reaching out to me. That was your choice. And since you were okay with talking to me, I talked to you. This is where the problems start, right? Or lie, I should say. She didn't say, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Update, his roommate texted me. I didn't even realize it said she thinks he's spiraling. Those of you who are in the military or the army or the Navy, okay? Share with us real quick. If you, based on knowing military culture, would you be concerned that his roommate is a woman? Or would that be not concerning for you? It happens all the time. People can not do weird stuff and be roommates in, because I've seen someone say a barracks bunny, right? Is this, you wouldn't be worried about this knowing the culture, or you would be concerned about this, right? Because this roommate is reaching out to him. So that means they've been having conversations, and I'm wondering why she even has her number. Okay. This is the girl you're a girl he's been dating for 2 months. Okay. Someone says, is that even allowed? I don't know. I didn't even know that was allowed myself, which is why I'm shocked. She didn't say he's sleeping around. That's an interesting thing to mention. Okay. But my trust issues says he's sleeping around and then expects me to be here once he's had whatever he needs. Someone said maybe they live in an apartment. Okay. Would that be concerning for those of you who know military, army, Navy culture? I also don't want to act cold if he actually does need someone. See, that's the problem. But something tells me he's just not interested, because if he really liked me, he wouldn't risk it all this early. Smart cookie. I did not text the roommate. She texted me saying she hopes to see me soon. That's very strange. I'm wondering why the roommate is even texting you. Okay, so this is the thing I want you to understand about human beings. Okay? I want you to take from this. Sammy, this is the type of things, if I was in your situation, I would be kind of paying attention to. Human beings tend to feel responsible for things when they're heavily involved in something. So what I mean by that is I would be questioning to myself, why does this woman roommate feel it's her responsibility to let me know what's going on with him and his life? Why does she feel like, I get there are friends, you know, I'm not saying that's not that people shouldn't care about one another, but why is she so concerned with him and the fact that, you know, he's spiraling, he goes out and he drinks every night? So she's paying attention to this and paying attention to his patterns and paying attention to what he's doing and who he's hanging out with and his demeanor. It seems like she feels quite responsible for him, especially to the point where she feels it's necessary to reach out to you about what he's doing. So it would make me think to myself, why does this roommate feel so responsible for what's supposed to be like my man? Why is she so concerned about my man to the point where she's texting me about her concern of my man? Once again, the reason I say that is because human beings tend to feel the most responsible for things and people that they're the most heavily involved with. Are you following me? So it's something to think about that is her reaction and response. Not that she shouldn't care, but the fact that she cares to the point where she's sending you a message. I don't know how she got your number. So still that's something to be, how did she receive your number to message you this or contact you? How did she find you on Instagram? How does she even know that you're this much of an important part of his life or were an important part of his life to even know that you should be someone to message or... This is all very interesting information that I feel like only someone who cares a lot and is very close to the situation would even have or even care enough to do. So it just makes me, I'm not making any assumptions, it makes me question, why are some of these things happening? Why would someone who has never met you, doesn't know you from a can of paint, message you about someone else who you've been dating for 2 months and tell you about what they've been doing? Why would someone do that? Why does she feel that responsible for his well-being, not just to, you know, try and make sure he's good there, but to send you a message? How would she even know that you're that important to send you a message? And why would she send you a message? Why not her? Very strange. Very strange. So all in all, if you want steps to move forward, I would advise you to stop investing your time and energy into this, because this situation is very weird to me. Very weird. And we have a lot of players in this situation that are showing themselves to have some different vested interests here. My advice to you, because truthfully and honestly, based on what I know about the military and things like that, you're probably never going to get the real answer of what happened while he was, in service, right? So you're never really going to know what went on there, right? It's going to kind of be a secret that lives and dies there. So I say that to say, don't think you're going to get answers when he comes back. And you're already experiencing a lot of weird behavior, and this is only 2 months in, and he just kind of started his deployment. So I just say that to say he's already told you he doesn't want a relationship. I would advise you to not invest any more of your time and energy, even though it might make you feel like a mean person. Clearly, there's someone there who cares about him a lot, right? I.e. his roommate, that seems to be more than capable of taking care of him and his feelings and emotions. And if that's the case, he has plenty of people to talk to that would be better equipped to answer him and know what he's going through than even you are. Okay? And at this point, I don't know how long he's been deployed, but at a certain point, he'll have known those people longer than he'll have even known you. So talk to those people. You don't need to be the one reaching out and being nice. Okay? Save that energy for you, and you can date someone who doesn't tell you they're not ready for a relationship. Okay? No matter what they're going through. If a guy says that, that's his own choice, and that's what he said. Okay? He didn't say I need someone to talk to. He said I'm not ready for a relationship. So go by that. All right, chat? That's the show for today. For those of you guys who have questions for me, feel free to send in your question via our free relationship advice forum, or our premium relationship advice forum, or our private relationship advice forum where no one else sees it, it's just me that answers it. And I'll answer your question as promptly as I can. Okay, those links are in my bio on TikTok and in my bio or my description on YouTube. Okay, for those of you who want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is just Tomisin_Atub. On Instagram, I have to get to, be honest with you, I have to get to a lot of my DMs on Instagram. I see some of you guys be DMing me about different stuff and all that stuff. I try my best to get to DMs, but it's very difficult for me. There's a lot, okay? But if you have a real question for me, please feel free to go into that section there. And my Instagram is there if you want to follow me there. It's also in the link in my description if you want to follow me on Instagram. In my description. For those of you who are on YouTube on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show from start to finish, my YouTube is just Tomisin Atobatele on the top right corner of the screen. You can follow me you can access the show if you missed parts of it or you came late to the TikTok live stream, and you can rewatch it. Just go to my YouTube. You can rewind it, see all the points, and it'll be so amazing right there for you with the YouTube and TikTok live chat in the video. Well, the YouTube chat's not in the video this time, but it'll be there in the future. Okay. All right. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I won't be here tomorrow because tomorrow's obviously Saturday, but I will be here on Monday at 4 p.m. EST. Okay. So you got to go over to my YouTube channel because I do post there, not live, but I do post there every single day. So you can go on there and see what I'm posting even throughout the weekend. Okay. Until we meet again on Monday, goodbye for now. Arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, salam, bon voyage. And I'll see you again tomorrow, Monday, not tomorrow, Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll talk about love life, relationships, and all that good stuff once again. All right, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy life, stay safe. Don't go crazy. Okay, have good fun, safe fun. Don't go too crazy that you have to send in a Discord question. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you again on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, bye for now. I love you so much.